Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Racers Driving League. Welcome to Season 17, round number 5 of the Championship, to a very familiar location to fans of RDL of the past. Welcome to the Shanghai International Circuit and the Chinese Grand Prix. Our first run here at this circuit since all the way back towards the end of Season 14. So it's been well over a game now since we last visited this circuit in this league. I'm looking forward to what should hopefully be exciting new territory from these drivers here tonight. I'm the host, Zach RC, here to bring you through all the action of tonight's racing. So the first cars out onto the racetrack there as we get kicked off with our first qualifying session of the evening. Red Jay in the Ferrari, the first car out on the track, is being followed by one of the Mercedes cars. That will be Imri. So as I say, new territory for a number of these drivers who will not have driven this circuit in terms of league racing up to this point. So in terms of experience, we could be in for a bit more trouble. And that trouble could impact drivers perhaps like Gaming James, who of course come off the back of 2 wins in a row, one in Australia and one in Japan last week as well. But he's still second place in the championship behind Landlord, our championship leader, 63 points to James' 61. Those two dueling for the win and going all the way up to the last corners in Suzuka. And be hoping for more of the same type of drama this time around in Shanghai. In terms of reserves for tonight's race, there are 17 drivers on the grid going into tonight's event. Missing Grumio in the Haas once again, but also missing Badman in the Red Bull. We had 2 departures from the league. Crovey and Sakir have departed, and Moisburn after last week's race departed as well. So the wait goes on for a replacement for one of the Aston Martin drivers. For now, we have our brand new reserve, Obsessed Gamer 33, behind the wheel and looking to make an impression. And we'll see what he's got lined up his sleeve for our drivers here tonight. And in terms of reserve for the Red Bull, it is Che returning to the league, making his drive for the Red Bull team tonight. And Crovey, we look forward to his replacement in future races. So that's your grid for tonight. Everyone else full-time drivers here and ready to rumble for what should hopefully be another exciting evening of racing indeed. Let's go on board with Landlord here and have a look at the first flying lap of the circuit with a driver who's got experience with this track. Up towards turn 1, very long sweeping right-hander into that first corner, going all the way around, almost in a full 360 before sweeping back into the right-hand side for turn 2, into 3, keeping close to that curb, but don't go on it. On the exit through 4 now, good exit, and towards the end of the first sector, a little kink on the right-hander, that's turn 5 into the braking zone at 6, 24.082 is the first sector. We'll be careful on corner exit out of 6. And now towards one of the faster corners on the circuit, turn 7. Keeping it nice and tidy against the curbs, or against the outside of the racetrack there, not on the curbs yet, but on curb for entry into 9. And also immediately into turn 10. Good exit again. Second split, 51.7 as we come now towards the DRS straight. One of 2 DRS straights on the circuit. Red Jace, it's the first time of the night, 1 minute 34.207. Landlord now off the corner and now pushing through off turn 12 and now towards turn 13. Got about a third of his ERS still to use. See one of the Alpines out of the way there. Imre goes fast, then 1 minute 31.9. We'll see what Landlord can try and do to match that. Can he match it? Last corner. Careful to valid there. Duck goes fastest. Landlord towards the line. Won't beat either one. Won't beat those 2 times. Duck goes fastest in the RB. It's 1 minute 31.6. Landlord 1 minute 31.8. Imri 1:31.9. So 3/10, just over 3/10, covering our top 3 to kick things off here in qualifying. Now, with 17 drivers on the grid in tonight's race, we'll only see 2 drivers missing out on Q2 of the entire field. Of course, top 15 will then go into our second round of qualifying, and we'll eliminate 5 there. That's where it gets a bit more interesting. And of course, our top 10 will go into the shootout pole position, and we'll see who will lead us to turn 1 in just under an hour's time. Che P3 down his first effort. PJ up to P2. So 2 fantastic drivers here who are already making waves early on in this qualifying system. Obsessed Gamer, 1 minute 34.969. I imagine I want to try and improve on that. He was 3 tenths apart out of his first sector. To 11 and now 12. Of course, we've seen reserves do quite well on debut in recent races. Of course, we had Green show fantastic pace in Australia just 2 weeks ago. We're hoping for more of the same out of Obsessed Gamer, but of course, won't pile too much pressure on the debutant, of course. So Lando and Nimri down to P5 now. James on his out lap. We'll see what our series leader in race wins can do. There's Lucky Lambert in the McLaren, of course, had quite a bit of a following in last week's race, but unfortunately retired midway through. Looks like he's going to run to his teammate JB here. There's always good team play from these 2 cars, these 2 McLaren teammates. They were fantastic last season. I believe it was Aston Martin, if my memory serves me correctly. Of course, JB sits in 3rd place in the Drivers' Championship right now, 35 points to his name. 28 back from the lead. Curtis 7 behind him. Curtis P6 right now. Those Alpines looking remarkably quick to start things off. 1 minute 32.2, 32.3 for his teammate Alvar. Pope there in 8th place. Of course, Pope and Websey getting their first points on the board last week in Japan, which now means that everyone on the grid has scored points. Everyone on the full-time grid has scored points. 8 for Pope and 11 for Websey. Websey finishing 5th last week, but nabbing the fastest lap to go with it. James on the racetrack here, looking to see what the split looks like in the first sector. 24 dead. Now, will James bring in another challenge? Can he take 3 victories on the spin? That's the big question coming into tonight. A good exit. 51.5. So it's up on the time we saw Lando do earlier. Oh, with a slide there. That may cost him a 10th potentially. Have to wait and see just how much impact that has on his overall lap time as he comes through towards the DRS straight. Charging down towards that hairpin at turn 14. Of course, many incidents there in the past. Think of the Verstappen-Vettel collision in the 2018 Grand Prix, which led to Ricciardo taking the race win. Off the last corner here comes James. With 31.7, that's enough for P4 on the board. So good start, and up on his championship rival, which is where he needs to be right now. Majority of drivers in the pits here. Websey and Valdez on this run. Perhaps in a bit of trouble here. Conley Goblin hasn't left the pit lane yet. Red J there in P12, his teammate, Conley's teammate. 1 minute 34.2. Seen those Ferraris, they haven't been fantastic in qualifying as of recent races, but still had solid efforts in the race. But of course, Red J looking to bounce back from the retirement on the opening lap last week. Collision with Alvar on the Alpine, who went sliding across the grass at one of the hairpins, and unfortunately Red J had nowhere to go. In terms of aftermath, there was no bad blood shared between the two, which is always positive. Of course, sportsmanship very high in RDL as always. And those who go into this week's race with a fresh start, perhaps in Red J's head, I'd think. Oh, where the disqualification? It's Obsessed Gamer, our debutant, park on dangerous location. He's been disqualified. Well, that'll bring an early end to Q1 for tonight's reserve, who will start today's race from the absolute back of the grid. Nowhere to go but up for the Aston Martin team tonight. So that'll leave one of the Green Team machines in trouble. Caught there in P40. Yet set a valid lap time. That could be a concern for him. We've still got just under 8 minutes to go. So plenty of time for things to change. Let's see what kind of time Cott will set here. 51.6. A slight slide there. A bit of a loss of traction for Cott. Quickly put back under control again. So no concern for him. In the middle of the circuit there, DRS now in full deploy as he charges towards turn 14 once again. Slight bit of lock up there, a bit of tyre smoke on the entry, but no concern at the minute. Just 5 cars on the racetrack. 4 of them are setting lap times. Cut over the line, P4 puts him just in front of James. Look how tight this grid is in a minute. 131 to 132 covers the field by 13 places covered within a second, which is fantastic to see, and that really shows you tonight's race might, at least in terms of qualifying, might be one of very, very fine margins. Ethan on his out lap there. He's got Websey coming in behind. 51.8 was Websey's second sector. We'll see what he can put out the bag in the late part of this lap. Last corner. Over the line, 132 for Websey. 132.1. That's enough for P9 on the board. So with Obsessed Gamers disqualification in mind, now at this point only one driver will be knocked out of qualifying on pure pace. The remaining 15 will go through to the next part. We've got just under 6 minutes left to go, so still plenty, as I said, time for things to change. Anything could really happen at this point in the session. Caught there in P4. Lucky Lambert slow in the second sector. JB, his teammate, also slow in the second sector. ERS fresh on JB's car. Ethan on a lap right now, keep an eye on him. 52.1, which is up on his previous effort, but perhaps won't be challenging the front runners. He could be under a better threat. We're more looking at that threat going into Q2. He's in P14 right now, so he does need to improve a little bit just to keep himself safe in the event that both Ferraris end up out qualifying him in this first session. I think everyone wants to avoid being that one car that gets knocked out. Last corner for Ethan, then we'll see what he comes to the line with. They won 32.2. P11, that's enough to bring up the board a bit more. Pope perhaps at risk, but looking to try and improve on a lap. He's 1.2 seconds down. He's done 5 laps, or 6 laps on those soft tyres, and I'd say that'd be a bit of a concern, but perhaps he's trying to save a fresh set for another stage to qualify, maybe even the race. Or just trying to get some bank laps under his belt. I have to wait and see. Just trying to get a bit more practice time on the circuit. Cott retires from P4. I'd imagine he's safe there. I mean, I'll say that those 2 Ferraris, at least one of them needs to come out the pit lane and actually give another go to get him to that qualifying, get him into the next round out of Q1. Red J is 2.5 seconds off the top time, and Connie Goblin is yet to actually leave the pit lane. DRS once again deployed, or not deployed for JB, so that's coming into the pit lane this time. Ethan in behind him. James goes back on the racetrack here. He's going for what I assume will be one last effort. Did a bit overly quick through the first couple of corners there. Imrie retires. P8, but I think it should still be safe. He's sort of in that middle point. The 7 cars below him and 7 above him will get into Q2 at this stage. Pope's into the pit lane at last. As that flying duck was sort of kind of across the track there. But all looks okay. The outlap's still bad. Obviously no concern either way. JB is into the second sector. We'll see what he can pull out in the McLaren. P14 right now, but short of those 2 Ferraris not leaving the pits, it looks like he might be safe. Che retiring from P3. Ethan going out too, of course a bit closer to the bubble, but should be safe regardless. But here come both Ferraris, one behind the other, and we could be in play here. The Scuderia coming out, perhaps in formation, looking to try and take on the cars behind them. Rather the cars in front of them. JB on a lap looking to improve. Pope in the pit lane. I imagine he's safe. Webbsy and James both retiring. James retiring on track there. That'll be a bit of a concern. Duck coming in. It looks like he'll top the session. It's been a very impressive start from the Alpines. As JB, Alpines, the RBs. Well, it's been impressive with the Alpines too. As JB goes to P11 and retires from session. P12, sorry. So, in terms of what times it needs to be, it needs to be at least a 1:32.2 for either one of the 2 Ferraris to get them out of Q1. If both of them score, if both of them set times in that range, Pope will get knocked out. He'll join Obsessed Gamer at the back of the grid. Alvar on that lap, perhaps trying to solidify his place a little bit more. 40 seconds to go. With these 2 Ferraris have given each other a bit of room now. Cody Goblin starting what will be his first and final lap. Red Jane behind him. Alvar coming towards the last corner. It's been very tight as whether he'll make it or not. It's going to be very close. He's got to get his skates on now. He may just reach it. Here he comes with a slide there. Can he do it? No, he's just missed out. Alvar goes P13. He's safe into Q2. Lowest he can place is 15th, but I'm sure he would like to try and get another time in. Red J is up in the first sector. Can't see Courtney Goblin split yet. We'll keep an eye on him. Red J is up. Remember, he's 2.5 down from the top time, so he needs to get his skates on a bit. Courtney Goblin looking to get himself into Q2. We'll see what his split looks like. 52.6. Red J a bit more compared to. Red J is a 52.8. 3/10 improvement. So I imagine it was the third sector we had to lift. Lucky Lambert to the pit lane now. Both Alpines having passed the flag. It's down to these Ferraris now. And remember, if only one of them can get out Q1 between them, then they're racing each other. Conley needs to beat whatever time Red J puts down. But Conley's the one to line first. We'll see what he can do. 1:33.2. It's enough to beat him for now. Can Red J top it? Did he do it? He did not. Courtney Goblin on his first lap beats Red J, and he will join Obsessed Gamer out of qualifying in Q1. Duck tops the session, PJ second, and Che in third place. Fourth, and Gaming James Jones at your top 5. Courtney Goblin squeezes into Q2 by 6/10 over Red J, and Obsessed Gamer's disqualification saves both Ferraris from getting knocked out. So there's your 15 drivers who are all advanced into the second part of qualifying. So here we go now. This is where things start to get a little bit more interesting. Q2. Now the full 5 slots for drivers to fall into. And this is where we start to see perhaps a few upsets. Top 10 from here will go into Q3. And the battle for pole position will well and truly begin. And it's been very tense in recent weeks. The full qualifying perhaps has been a godsend to some of these drivers. And definitely to the streams. We've been been so much more entertained. First car's out of the pit lane here. There's Imrie, who will not lead them out. It'll be Ethan who leads them out. Both Williams into Q2. Both Saubers, both RBs. The one Haas car. The one Red Bull. Both McLarens are in. Both Mercedes are in. So now everyone's had a bit of time to practice in Q1. This is where things get very tense, as I keep saying. Duck leads this sort of second train here. His teammate stays in the pit lane for now. Ethan and Imrie are the first ones out onto the racetrack, and we'll see. It looks as though they'll be the ones to the early benchmark. Of course, Ethan's teammate PJ did very well in qualifying, getting himself into P2 in Q1. We'll see if he can exhibit that same speed this time around. Imrie getting those tyres warmed up. Into turn 14. Lucky Lambert, is that retiring the session? Oh, it appears he may have disconnected, and that will be Lucky out already. Because the game has auto-retired him. Ethan starting his first lap now. So with one car who looks to already be out qualifying. We'll see what everyone else has to offer to try and not make sure that they're not joining him. Lucky's rejoined, but at this point he's out the session. A game perhaps breaking floor there. Ethan in the second sector, we'll see what he's got. Both Saubers now on the racetrack, Cott and Websey. .52.5 in the second sector for Ethan. We'll see what Imrie can do. 51.4. See the sheer amount of difference there. Let's see Imrie come shooting off the corner there in the very distance. There he is. And Ethan charging towards the hairpin. Good exit. Looking for a strong last corner. Yes, didn't anyone full run a foot at the track limits in that last corner. Ethan goes fast, 1 minute 33.162. Can Imrie try and beat that? Towards the line, be 131.5 for the Silver Arrow. And Cott comes towards the line to begin his first flying lap. Will try and match Imrie's effort. James still in the pit lane here. Didn't come out in that first train for the first run. Curtis now into the last corner. Flying Duck again goes fastest. 131.4. The 132.2 for Curtis puts him in P3. Pope goes P3 for himself. 1:31.8. PJ up to 4th. Those Williams cars looking like a potential dark horse in this race. So 6 cars and set lap times. We'll see where the remainder comes out. Here comes Landlord towards the line. 1:31.9. Perhaps not as quick as he might have hoped. Because we've seen in the past, a lot of Landlord's pace comes in the Grand Prix itself. So keep an eye on him throughout. This former series champion could still surprise us Of course, it has been a fair bit of time since that championship came on the back end of F1 2021. That's back in season 12. Of course, we still applaud him for the remarkable campaign he had last season in F1 23. Just the one race victory, but was consistent enough to get himself all the way up to the penultimate round of the season. Still in with a chance to drive his championship, but just missing out in the end to his teammate Grumio, who of course isn't with us tonight. Grumio still just 26 points to his name for the win in Bahrain. Wasn't with us for Australia, for Japan, or tonight in China. Retired from the race in Jeddah. Crashed in the second stint. Pope crossed the line there once again. So of course the 26 for Grumio is just the win plus fastest lap in Bahrain. Websy P6 right now. He's up on his teammate. Times perhaps a bit slower than they were in Q1. That's because we see a majority of drivers on the soft tyres that they used in that first session, and we should see around the midway points didn't change onto their fresh set, given a set of softs and a set of mediums for Q2. In most cases, those medium tyres go unused, unless of course you are season 15 champion C110P fan. Obviously, we're doing our first few races without the combination of BJ and fan in the audio paddock. We've definitely got a number of talented drivers up here looking to fill their shoes rather. Curtis there, P7 right now, 132.261, his best effort. Only just behind the car he just passed on the circuit there, Websy. Of course, fourth place in the Drivers' Championship right now. 7 points back from JB. Curtis has always been fantastic in the opening few races of the season. I remember early on in season 15, he held third place for a good portion of the way. I was up there in the top 5 the majority of the season. James goes fastest there, so makes it RB12. Up, not much over his teammate Flying Duck. We see the gap. Just over 0.2 of a second. That makes it so 3 drivers yet to set about lap times. Che is on his outlap. Cotley Goblin and Alvar both in the pit lane right now. Of course, Che looked very strong in Q1 as well. It's those RBs that will be the ones to beat, the drivers to catch across this session. Of course, the Mercedes cars, I'd argue, are as equally strong a pairing between Imrie and Pope, but things haven't gone their way so far. Fallen afoul of bad luck across the season in the first few rounds. Perhaps slates that there was a late safety car in Jeddah that unfortunately didn't play into their hands while they were on for an Imrie victory with 6 laps to go. And we had quite a few safety cars so far this season. Which in a way leads us to appreciate the chaos that online racing can be, regardless of whether it's legal or not. We see a lot more safety cars than we have so far. For any of you who have tried career mode on the F1 24 game as of yet, you'll notice a lot of the DRS trains can be quite dull and disinteresting. James retired from the session on track. He's in P1. I'd imagine he's safe for the most part into that pole position shootout. The gap's still remarkably close here. Top 9 will cover by a second. Let's see if Che can stop into that group. 51.3 in his second sector. That's impressive from the Red Bull. We'll see if he can continue on that form in the remainder of that. Into the hairpin once again. We'll see. Keeps it under control. Bit of tyre spoke on entry. So slight lock up. Pushing on towards the line. This could be a pole time here. Che goes fastest by half a tenth. Well, well. Now this is a little bit more like the Che of old. Of course, we haven't seen Che in a fair while. One of the last few times he was on the grid was back in season 15. A few reserve appearances and a couple of race wins. I remember when he picked up an Imola in the Haas. But Che now up front. Only 3 cars out on the circuit. Make that 4. Here comes one of the Williams. That's PJ Kellogg. Imrie retiring. 3rd of 15 cars to do so. We'll see in terms of who will be next to call it in. Here comes Cop then. Just on the threshold right now. 3 minutes to go. We have to start thinking about that bubble a little bit. The 2 Saubers are the ones at risk right now. JB in the pits. Ethan perhaps looking to improve at some stage, but not on this lap at least. We'll see if Cott can get anything out of the bag here. Because everyone now on those fresher tyres they were given at the start of this session. Cott towards the line. Can he do it? He can! Cott puts things quite a way out of reach. So Cott now the driver to beat in this session. The RBs have been very quickly surpassed in the bid for top of the session. So that puts Webbsy now on the cut line, but he's coming through to start what could be his second to last lap or his last lap. JB on his that lap as well. Ethan there below the cut line, but 2 tenths up. Of course, he needs to improve by a fair bit more than that in order to get himself into the next part of qualifying. He needs a 1:32.2 at best to get himself into the next session. And that could change because Webb's on his lap right now. 1 minute and 20 seconds still to come. Plenty of time for things to change. Ethan off the last corner. Perhaps can we look at a 32 here? Oh, he's just missed out. He's got time for one more lap, but I imagine he may have thrown a lot of it into that first effort. Ethan might be the first car out. Webbsy still on that cut line. Alvar and Courtney Goblin on the racetrack now. Both cars below the cut. Yet set a lap. 4 of the drivers will be joining Lucky Lambert at the end of qualifying in the drop zone. As we're now in the final minute. Webbsy off the last corner and towards the line. He was half second at the end of sector 2. Ethan calling it. He's out of qualifying. Webbsy's P6. Yellow flag, 6-2. That's PJ going slowly. As is Ethan. 10 seconds to go. Not waiting for anyone to come towards the line, so wait now for the flag. JB up by 6 tenths, he'll be the first one through. But he needs a bit more to get him to into that last part of qualifying. The flag has fallen. Here it comes towards turn 14. Big lock up there for the McLaren. That could be a bit of trouble. We didn't see the smoke. Yellow flag for the House of Landlord is in P9 right now. He could be in trouble if the cars below him improve. JB over towards the line. Goes P9. Landlord's now on the cut line. And Curtis is improving. This could be trouble for the championship leader. Alvar on lap 2. This is be his first lap of qualifying to be valid if he can make it. 51.6. And Landlord retiring, so he can't fight it now. Can Curtis knock out the championship leader? He can't. Curtis invalidates the last corner. He'll go out of qualifying. That's it for him. 2 more cars yet to join him. Will Landlord be one of them, or will he narrowly hang on? Courtney Goblin, last corner. The 133 from him. He's out of qualifying too. Alvar locking up, going wide down to turn 14. And Curtis' slip up may mean that Landlord is safe to fight another day here towards the line. Can he do it? He's done it. Alvar goes P10 and Landlord is knocked out of qualifying just by the skin of his teeth. Look at the gap there. 9.15 for Alvar, 9.79 for Landlord. What a shock. And it could have been both of them potentially going out had Curtis not invalidated, but Curtis is out. He was half a second up going into that last corner. And he threw it in there. And unfortunately, it did not go his way. So Cott will top the session. Chase second and Pope in third. So that's your session. We now have our top 10 for the shootout for pole position. Landlord, Curtis, Ethan, Courtney Goblin and Lucky Lambert all getting knocked out. You have in the top 10 shootout, Cott, Che, Pope, PJ, James, Duck, Websy, Imri, JB and Alvar. So here we go then. This is 4 positions. Q3 about to get underway. The top 10 shootout pole position. 3 teams have got both their cars in this session. Sauber got both cars in. Cotton Websy, Imri and Pope in for Mercedes. James and Duck have been the class to field so far. Overall, across both sessions in Ferrari. Alpine's Alvar, Red Bull's Che, McLaren's JB, and PJ's Williams. Or Williams PJ makes up the remainder of the pack dueling or going head to head for pole. Dueling? No, that's not the right word. JB onto the racetrack now. Everyone going out except for Alvar, who stays in for a bit longer. Everyone all out on the line has to try and find themselves a bit of space with 10 minutes in the session to run. All 10 cars out of the racetrack, Alvar on the circuit all by himself. In terms of a potential branch of the plans for everyone coming out early on, I'm getting word that we could be in for a bit of rain in Q3, perhaps later on in the session, so it'd be worth trying to get a dry lap in this time around. Everyone warming up their tyres there. First lap will be courtesy of Flying Duck. That threat of rain a bit overbearing here could mean trouble for some of these guys. 23.9, the first sector for Duck. His teammate James is the third car in the pack. 24.04. So in terms of the RBs, Duck has the edge on his teammate so far. Webb is the last that initial train, and Aquas Alvar on the circuit by himself and looking to come through to start his first lap. There's Che, who impressed, of course, in Q2 in particular. Taking second place on the board, top of the session. (51.2) in the second sector for Che. There's PJ, of course, ran quite well in Q1. Solid in Q2, but perhaps lacking that little bit of extra pace they needed to really contest positions up front. But this one is 4 places. Duck towards the line. 31.5 is his first effort. In behind him, it's Imri. Imri over the line, goes fast himself. 131.3 dead. Will James try and top both these cars? He can top both these cars. Just 6,000 of a second. Pope slots in between the RBs and Mercedes. Che goes fastest now. 1:31.323. Look how close this is. Cop P4. PJ to pole. JB to P8. But these guys separated by about 4/10 right now. .404 seconds covers the top 9. Less than a 10th covering the top 6. What a fantastic start as a qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. And this is going to be very, very close. Think back to the last time we were here, season 14 on F1 22. Grumio storming to the line at the tail end of the session. PJ and Ethan both managing to go top of the times briefly, past the checkered flag, before Grumio came in and put them to shame and nabbed what was his 18th pole of the season. 18 poles from 23 races, 24 being the reverse grid finale for which there is no qualifying. Imrin and Duck back in the pit lane. James joining them. We should see everyone come back in to bolt on fresh tyres for going that one last run. Alvar invalidated in this on this first lap. The gaps are looking absolutely ridiculous here. And again, if that rain does indeed come, it's going to be fine margins. Right now things look quite sunny, so we should be in for... It's pretty safe here. We should be in for a dry end session. Pope retiring! And a driver in P7 calling it in. Alvar, the last car to put a time on the board. Won't be this time, as he has invalidated his effort. And we'll come back in the pit lane. Five and a half minutes to go. There goes Alvar. Off back towards the Alpine garage. It is a race of fine margins. Imrie, now the lone Mercedes. PJ making the gap a fair bit larger than the rest of them. Without his time there, the gap looks at about, or the exact gap pole will be 4,000 a second, so very close indeed. But it's the Silver Arrow on the circuit all by himself. No movement from the garage. Looks like everyone is staying put for the moment. But they haven't got long. Oh, I see one down the end. That it will be the Sauber. Sauber Websy coming out on the circuit. Koch joining him now. And we should see more faces making their way out the garages for what should be the last lap. There's still plenty of time, 4 minutes to go. And I'd say time for things to change, but there's only going to be one effort here, one lap that's really going to play into these guys' hands. Will Imrie put the car on pole? This will be potentially his final lap. Five cars now on the racetrack. Both Saubers, PJ Khaled, Imrie, and JB. Here comes Duck. P8 on his first run. Shows you how close it is. Coffey starting to start his last lap. 2.5 minutes to go. Imrie was up in the second sector. Didn't improve very much, but as of right now, at that time, will put him second. If he can finish it like this. PJ on pole. As of right now, we're seeing a Williams and a Red Bull take the front row. Last corner for Imrie. Keeps it within the white lines just. 31.073. Imrie puts it at something quite audacious style there. Imrie now in provisional pole. Can he hold it? Websy half a second up. That could put him in the 30s at this point. Could look at around 30.8, 30.9 for the Sauber if he can finish this job. Qualifying continues to entertain. And will we see a late change of pole again? Websy will not go second, but will not go first, rather go second, but bridges the gap. Peters a 10th up out of sector 2. 1 minute to go. Can't invalidate that last lap. Maybe his tyres are a little bit less potent. But now rubbing in and ready to go for one last shot at pole. Topped Q2. Can he top Q3? We'll know shortly. Flying Duck on a lap. He's up by 0.4 of a second. PJ goes fast again. PJ into 30s. 1 minute 30.929. And Imrie is stumped. He finds himself in P2 once again. Webb's looking at P3 at best right now. Sure if we can get him around to the line in time. Alvaro is out lap, looking for what will be his first valid effort if he can finish it, if he can do this one. PJ retiring. So hoping he'll be beat by the cars behind him. Che is up. Imrie retiring too. So those guys have sorted their laps. We'll see if anyone can top those two. Nearing the checker flag now. There it is. There's the flag. Next car through will be Che, who is down in the second sector. Looks for P5 at best for the Red Bull. Last corner. Keeps in the lines and towards the line goes stays P5. Webb's in the pit lane. Here comes Gaming James in behind him. Can James try and nab pole? Goes P2. Not quite enough. Here comes Cott. Cott goes way wide there. And that's cost him dearly there. Cott down to P6. I like that could have been pole for all we know. And it looks as though PJ Khaled is going to have the pole here in China. Kept his nerve in the closing stages when it seemed like everyone around him was losing theirs. And PJ and James will lead us to turn 1. Shock result in qualifying. Williams nabbed their first pole position of the season. Last car settle here. See what Alvar puts himself. Last corner. Can he perhaps beat PJ's time? Towards the line. Here he comes. P5 in the end for Alvar. Won't be enough to cap PJ. He takes pole position here in China. Have a look at your top 10 before we go into the Grand Prix in a few minutes' time. PJ starts on pole. James in second. Imrie third. Websy fourth together on row 2. Alvar 5th. Flying Duck 6th. Cott 7th. Che 8th. Pope 9th and JB 10th. Look at that. Top 10 separated by 7 tenths. We'll be back in a few minutes' time for the Grand Prix. Don't go anywhere because we're in for a fantastic race. Here we go again. Time for the Chinese Grand Prix here in the Racist Driving League Season 17, the 5th round of the championship. China making its return to the full calendar for the first time in several seasons. The last time it would have appeared would be around seasons 9 and 10 as a regular appearance on the calendar. Of course, appeared across F1 22 as a standard event on the run towards the new game releasing. Here is the season itself. And judging by what we just saw in qualifying, we could be in for a marvellous Grand Prix indeed. There is your defending winner, Salvo Grumio. Not with us tonight. Won the race in the Aston Martin. Of course, we could see a shock win tonight if qualifying had anything to go by. PJ nabbing pole position for the first time this season. We're minutes away from the start of the race. Well, we're just less than a minute away from the start. And this will be one of those races that could be quite tough to predict. In terms of Drivers' Championship going in, Landlord leads by 2 points, but will start from P11 in this race. Gaming James will start from the front row. he'll start from second alongside PJ, 2 points back, and then P2 looking to try and nab his third win on the trot and take the lead of the championship. If he can outscore Landlord by 2, he'll do just that. So here we go, formation up getting underway. Let's have a look now then at the starting lineup for the Chinese Grand Prix round 5 of the season. Starting at the back, we'll go with from the back onwards. On row 9 by himself is Obsessed Gamer 33, disqualified from Q1 for being the game since being parked in a dangerous location. He's starting on hard tyres for this race, but an even split. But the majority of cars going for the hard tyres to start things off. Red J narrowly missed out on Q2, beaten by his teammate Courtney Goodwin by 6/10 at the end of the session. Lucky Lambert retired from Q2, disconnected midway through, lines up P15 for the race. Courtney Goblin P14 just in front of his teammate Anlin McLaren, who unfortunately disconnected early on. Ethan lines up P13. His teammate is quite way up the field this time. Got some work to try and match him today. Curtis lines up P12. Still 4th place in the championship. He can outscore JB by 7. Will take 3rd place outright, but that could be trouble with the cars behind him like Imri and Cott looking for points tonight. Landlord, Pete Evan, the big shock there. The championship leader by 2 points. That could change for today, but he's got some work to do. But we saw him come up the field early on in Japan last week. We'll see if he can do the same. JB in the top 10, the lead McLaren in today's race. Pope lines up P9. Scored his first points last time out in Japan. Che lines up P8, looking to put in a good shift, reserving for Red Bull tonight. Cott lines up P7. Was close to pole in the closing stages, but a late mistake on his last run puts him down 7th for the race. Flying Duck was one to look out for. Keep an eye on the RB, both RBs, but this one could be a dark horse in today's race. Alvar P5, a fantastic qualifying for the Alpine man who tries to outscore his teammate today. Webbsy lines up P4. He, like Pope, he also scored his first points last week. He starts in the medium tyres. Imri starts 3rd, 23 points to stay in the championship. Could potentially be looking for his first win of the season. Gaming James, 2 wins on the trot. Championship 2nd place. Could be the leader as it stands. If the rest is to end right now, he would be in the lead of the championship. And PJ Khaled taking an unlikely pole position. I'm sure he'll forgive me for saying so, because I don't think even he expected that. But he'll line up in that first grid spot. Obsessed Game at the very back there. The debutant with it all to do in his first RDL race of all time. There he goes then, jumping in to the spot, and Red J line up as well. So here we go. 5 lights here in China. Lights out, foot to the floor. We are underway here at Shanghai, returning to the full-time calendar. Down towards turn 1 they go. Decent start there from PJ. 3 wide into turn 1. Webbsy into 3rd place. Down the inside, near contact with James. Everyone going nice and easy as they get through the first couple of corners. There's still 3 wide. PJ falls out of favour. James is the lead, but Webbsy's on his outside as they come off of turn 3. Oh, contact! There goes Webbsy up the circuit, and PJ's in his wing. His M plate's been wiped there, and that could be trouble for the Williams. Alvar down the field too, down to P13. Disastrous starts for those 2 cars there into the braking zone. A big traffic jam of cars right now. James leads away, Duck into 2nd. It's a dream start for the RBs. PJ down in 3rd, Webbsy in 4th. PJ with no M plate on that car on the right-hand side. That's going to be trouble for him in this first part of the lap. That's going to hold up the field behind. You see Che looking for a move on Webbsy. First the outside, now the inside, side by side. Oh, contact! There he goes off the circuit. Yellow flag behind them. More drama. Looks like Curtis is falling out of favour. Has he got damage? Looks all okay. Gets himself back into line. JB's falls dead last. He's got work to do in this race. Chaotic start. But it's a dream for the RBs to lead away. Imri, 10-second penalty for ignoring the yellow flag. Early on, first penalty of the night goes to the Mercedes man. And he's got some work to do here from P10 to get himself back in this race. The Saubers kicking up dust early on in this Grand Prix. You saw Webbsy really going for it against the 2 cars in front. We could have seen him in the lead at this point, but James lead lap 1. And DRS now comes into play. Full train of race cars here. No one out of DRS range save for Curtis. Looks like Peter's okay even without end plate damage. He's going to carry on. And Duck now hunting James in the race from the top spot. We haven't seen the two RBs go head-to-head for the lead just yet. They're in command as of right now. Lock up from James there going into turn number 4. Excuse me, that'll be, don't be turn 4, that'll be turn 5. It leads away though. 4/10, just on a half-second covering those guys. And we could see a big scrap for position going down in towards turn 14. Lauren's 5th place here. He's had a fantastic start. Again, we find him navigating all the chaos with that experience as a former champion of the series, 3-time champion of the series. Lucky Lambert goes wide there. He's going side by side with Imrie for position. Imrie outbreaks the McLaren. Oh, perhaps a bit of a tap there between the two Mercedes-powered cars. And the Alpines also scrapping tooth and nail for position number 11. First car out the points. Ethan looking to try and get involved as well. Here comes that first DRS attack of the race. Duck charging towards the inside of his teammate. Can he outbrake and going into the corner? Not going to try it. Teammate's on her, but James locks up again. PJ, we're looking for a good exit here. We can try and take one of these two cars on. Che, 3-second penalty. That's the first time track limits penalty of the night. Now you can't remove those, even in the stewards room, unless... Yeah, footage. Cotter sets fastest lap of the race there. 1 minute 34.5. He's got Pope for company in P8, and back there, 3 seconds back, it's Imrie and Lucky Lambert. Still going head to head. But that's sort of separated the two trains now. PJ round the back of a Flying Duck. He's going to look to the outside of the racetrack. He's going to pull back to the inside. Not going to go for it just yet. Again, another lock up from the leader. You can very clearly see the damage on that Williams race car, but it looks like he's good to carry on. James in control. This train stretching to about to the top 8 cars. Imrie has now gotten around Lucky Lambert to start to close that gap. Che challenging Landlord there. That might hold both cars up. Landlord looking dangerously close to filling out of DRS range. The next detection point for him. He's going to have it this time. The next detection point will be coming at the exit of the last corner. Duck into the lead there. He swipes it from his teammate. I think if those two can make clean swaps on each other for position, as well as holding the cars behind at bay, then that'll be the ideal situation for them. So if James might try and get Duck back, but Duck can just pull away. Really not too sure what sort of game the RBs will play with each other here. But the team will be hoping on the pit wall they play nice. We're obviously looking for a way inside of PJ. He's there. Che down to P8 here. Both Cott and Pope found the way around him. Imrie 2.3 back. Further behind, it's all single file. Red J made an early pit stop. Unsure as to what for. I imagine he may have picked up damage. He's picked up more damage there. End plate lost with that Ferrari. He's coming back into the pits. And again, for the second week in a row, frustrating start to the Grand Prix for Red J, but you don't give up hope, because anything could happen. We've seen safety cars out of nowhere sometimes in this league in the past, so you never know. Oh, car going wide again, there's Che off the circuit. Perhaps overcooking a bit on the exit. And with that in mind, no wonder he's got 3 seconds. Now, will James try and just swap back into place back in front of Duck again? He's got a fantastic run, using his battery to his advantage, and now DRS getting deployed. Make sure he's well clear of his teammate by the time they charge towards the hairpin. Lockups galore here for some of these cars. Cott and Imrie going head to head out for P8. Imrie's got him. There goes the Mercedes up into the 8th spot now. 1.8 seconds to Che and Pope fighting in front. Lucky Lambert looking 3 wide for position. Imrie gets double whammy completely there. And will Lucky come away with the places? He might do. Around the outside goes the McLaren on the exit. Lucky pulling in front for the moment, but Cott is still there alongside him. The Sauber looking to lose out here as the McLaren reclaims P8, but there goes Cott back down the inside, almost going for it. Curtis challenging Imrie. Perhaps a light jump between those two. All okay, no damage given for either car. No damage sustained. And Imrie holds on to that last points pay in place, but Alvar. Sorry, that's Curtis rather. Sorry, apologies if I was saying Alvar. Curtis in the Alpine. Alvar back in P13. Behind these guys. Ethan separates the two Alpines right now while his teammate separates RB from the remainder of the pack. Now, will Duck stay in position? Top 5 altogether in the train now. Not enough to run this time for Duck to go for a move, so he'll stay in line. Oh! Very close there from PJ. Che passing Pope, Cott passing Lucky, Imrie in P10. Looking for a way back into this one. Of course, Lucky took those places completely by going through wide in the main straight. Can Imrie try and replicate that onto lap 6 of this Grand Prix? Lucky looking around, trying to find some kind of opening, but not close to go for anything just yet. Pope around the back of Che. Former teammates, these two, back on F1 22. The Pope's last few races before he joined us in the commentary box for seasons 15 and 16. And PJ getting close on the braking to near contact with the rear wing of that RB of Flying Duck. Notice in particular on the run towards turn 14. Tap there from Websy to the back of PJ's Williams. Landlord waiting for his opportunity right now, but can't seize it. James pulling away here, using that battery to his advantage. Pope passing Che. Landlord to the inside of Websy going into the corner. Sorry, he's on the outside, so apologies. Tap there, wheel banging on the exit. Someone's got to give going into this last corner. It's going to be Websy who has to give. Landlord takes P4, but Websy goes back at him though. To the outside of the racetrack, down the main straight towards turn 1. The crowd on their feet as Websy goes swooping in to turn 1 and takes P4 back. And showing Landlord that he might not have it all his own way with these challengers in front of him. Pope and Chase still nose to tail. Cotton Imrie looking to try and close that gap. Behind them, Ethan on the outside, trying to follow around Lucky Lambert. Alvar's behind him, and Curtis trying to keep up with Imrie and Cott, but having the last point to his name. Top 5 starts to become a bit less condensed now. Of course, remember a few laps ago they were nose to tail, and now they're separated a bit, but still all in DRS range. No one any more than 7-8 tenths behind. Safe for Landlord, who's fallen out of DRS range here. That could be a concern from yellow flag behind. And that is Lucky Lambo's gone around. Recovers it, no issue. Imagine just lost a bit of traction on the exit. No damage done, so that McLaren will carry on, but down to P14 now. Landlord did get DRS, only just. Flying Duck goes back into the lead. James sorting back into line. And PJ Keller, I imagine, must be a bit frustrated inside the Williams, because while he's running in the podium place right now, he's currently got the 2 RBs scrapping in front of him, and he can't really get involved. Now, it hasn't been a lot of points for Williams so far this season. They're P9 in the Constructors' Championship right now. So him and Ethan will be looking to get something on the board, and PJ perhaps not pitting because the opportunity has been placed in front of him thanks to that pole position. James and Duck again going at it. Differing strategies on the RB cars here. I imagine we could be looking at a one-stop in today's race. So I imagine we'll see Duck go on to the hard tyres And James onto the mediums. However, potentially, you never know. If he pushes it long enough, we get a safety car. We could potentially see a one-stop race change onto a late set of soft tyres. But how long will those softs last, given how much he's pushing to try and keep in front of these cars behind? So there's all to play for. Landlord only just back inside the DRS range. Pope and Chase still contending for position. Cotton Imrie not really closing too much. Did Curtis get DRS that time? Cotton Goblin 3 seconds performance warnings. He's back on the train there in P15. Lucky, Cotton, Obsessed Gamer and Red J all in wells of their own at the minute. JB on the back of the main train. Right, and this is the lead train right here again. James back in the lead. On to lap 9. We're getting to be about almost a third of the way into this Grand Prix here. Top 2. Not pulling away yet. These RBs, while they're quick, they haven't really been, haven't been challenged much by the cars behind. PJ keeping both Webbsy and Landlord at bay at the minute. Landlord was falling back, but looks to be trying to close back in again. But the RBs have more or less been swapping back and forth between each other, so that's been the only lead challenges so far. Save for, of course, James nabbing the lead of the original start. Cotton Imrie making no progress here, but tell you who's making progress. Curtis is. That Alpine now right on the back of the Mercedes. Oh, it's sliding as I say that. Commentator's curse kicking in as I was about to say it. Che passing Pope P6 once again. These two going back and forth as well. Third of the way through now. No chance of a move for him down the main straight for the top 5. Imrie practically pushing Cotton down the main straight. There goes the silver arrow to the outside of the setup into turn 1. Will Curtis try and find a way underneath. Imrie very low on DRS right now. Oh, there he goes. Sliding the car on the very edge of control. There he goes again. Off onto the gravel. And Imrie goes tumbling down the order. What is happening to that Mercedes all of a sudden? And a big error that may cost Imrie dearly here. Not a clue as to what brought that on for the Mercedes, but it'll drop him down to P13 in the running order. P10, the last point, is just a few places in front of him. JB and Ethan going side by side for P11, just ahead. So we'll keep an eye on and see if we can get involved in that scrap. But that leaves us down with Cott, who's left to challenge Curtis by himself. Or rather, to fend off Curtis' challenge if he can close up. Pope again passing Che. James maintaining his lead, but locking up once again those front tyres. Taking a battering here. But I get the feeling that's a visual glitch. $18 laps to go. JB into points now. So JB getting on top of that fight. There goes Ethan wide. Imrie goes back in. Imrie looking for one car. Now looking to take 2 cars. He'll take both cars. And now, just under a lap after his incident, now finds himself back in position to fight for the points once again. There'll be a gap to work to Curtis and P9 because they're back where he was. So taking some serious pace out of Imrie to close back up to that starting point. Curtis, of course, looking to try and pass JB in the standings. A podium for Imrie will put him into P3 in the championship. As of right now, it looks like Curtis might just maintain that position, unless Flying Duck can nab the victory. Saying that, as it stands right now, a second place finish would be enough for him to jump from P9 to P3. That's just how close things have been. But I'm sure he might be chasing the win. Websy into P3, PJ in the pit lane here, and Landlord joining him. So the median tyre runners, the common denominators in this race, looking perhaps for hard tyres go to the end of the Grand Prix. Caught 10 seconds being in the pits, and our first pit lane penalty of the night handed out. Hard tyres going on. There goes Courtney Goblin and Landlord shooting past. JB out in P16. Only 2 drivers left now on medium tyres. Yellow flag, and that is Curtis around. Recovers it. Oh, sliding perhaps almost in front of Imrie. James and Duck left by themselves now in the RB. Websy a second back, almost 2 seconds back rather, from Duck. I should think we'll see one of those 2 cars in this time. Che passing Pope. These 2 going back and forth, back and forth. Having a fantastic battle with each other. Websy's in, but Duck stays out. Not using his DRS. So Chain Pope strikes for position, now comes to the race for 3rd. Imrie into 5th place. Holding off Curtis, goes a bit wide there. Curtis might try to come back at him. Yes, he will. The Alpine goes into 6th place. And here comes the other one. Here comes Auer. The pulls himself of the race into turn 1. Won't quite do it. Starts back out to the outside. Ethan behind him. Websy re-emerges behind Landlord, who are quite a distance. Compared to how close they were, just 2 seconds between the pair of them. PJ emerged in front of them though. James still bringing his teammate along with him. Che in 3rd, Pope 4th, Curtis in 5th place, and Imrie behind them. All of those guys yet to make their stops. So I'm looking around trying to find an opening of some kind there. Couldn't quite do it. Lucky 2 seconds back from those 5 cars. Pope passing Che. Just took complete control from the RBs. Will we see James in this time? Will we see Duck in this time? Yes, in he comes. It'll be crucial to his speed. Keeps that in control from the end. So James Ladd left all by himself on the racetrack as Pope and Jay continue to scrap on. Ramble with up with Curtis down the main straight. Imrie closing. Will look to the outside of the racetrack into turn 1. Trying to force him a long way round. No contact. Everyone keeping it nice and clean here. Imrie still there. And on the exit, looking at P4 if he can nab it. And Connie Gomez retired. Retire on the racetrack. I should imagine that'd be a safety car. It looks like a clean spot to be doing it. Red Jay, another lone Ferrari left in this race. James 6.3 in front of Pope right now at the halfway mark of the Grand Prix. So 14 laps to go. Curtis there in front of Imrie again. And Connie is disconnected, which explains it. Imrie out in an Alpine sandwich here, but looking to break out of it. He's on the inside of the top crust. That'd be Curtis as they run in towards turn 14. Can't quite do it. He pulled alongside, but now on the exit trying to find another run. It may come down to where he sits in the main straight. Trying to get around Pope. Those two swapping back and forth again. Imrie on the main straight, not closing on the Alpine as much as he needs to. In fact, Albon more closing on him. Ethan letting his teammate PJ go. Good team play from the Williams cars. And now, Lando will have to duel with Ethan. With Lucky and Duck right behind them. Duck needs to find a way around Lucky quickly. Keep himself in the hunt, because he's fallen back behind those cars that he was in front of by a decent amount before the stops. Pitting strategy may have cost him slightly, but of course he will get back in front. That's when some of these guys make their stops. But Lando and PJ and Imrie were all, sorry, not Imrie, and James were all cars he was racing. James continues on the wall by himself. Pope again looking like to make that move stick. He will do that without any issue at all. PJ and Albon going at it. They were side by side in the exit. PJ darted in front. Imrie going right towards the grasses, trying to take on Curtis for P4. Down the inside of the racetrack he goes. Contact, they've hit each other there. Imrie is there. Here comes Albon. PJ trying on the outside. About to go 3 wide position potentially here. Down the main straight again. Imrie looking to try and feather it if he can. Backs out of it. And PJ gets a drop on both cars there. PJ into P4 once again. As it stands, PJ is 17 seconds back from James. Of course, PJ, still a recent winner in the RDL. Took the second flag in Brazil in the penultimate race of last season, driving for Alpine. So looking for a second career victory. Now he's got one, he's going to be hungry for another. No, it doesn't look as though James is extending his lead too much. It appears he's sort of stagnated a bit. PJ by himself now in P4. Look, he's pulled away from the cars behind. Curtis keeping them all at bay. Yes, everyone from all the way down to P10. Caught in P11, the first car out of the points. But of course, a lot of drivers get to make stops. Curtis gets Lando for company in the exit. Lando darts in front and takes P5 himself. And will start closing on PJ now. Side by side. Oh, contact! There, Albon may have hit a braking bollard. Like Duck and Imrie also got a bit too close to comfort there. I'm not too sure. James both in. PJ now taking the lead of the Grand Prix, but James onto medium tyres. And the chase begins for both cars. Che back out to the racetrack, down to P10 here. James down to P8 now. Pope leads. It's about 6 seconds between PJ and James right now. He's in the back of that pack. His first target being Alvar in the Alpine. Webster and Imrie side by side for P5. Webbsy has it for the moment, but Imrie trying on the outside, can't quite break in. Webbsy stays in front for now. Obsessed game with 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. I haven't seen much of the David Tom tonight. He's had it all to himself in P15 for the minute. James looking to close the gap now to Imrie. It will be a tough customer to get past, I've no doubt. Here comes Pope. Pope coming in means that PJ will assume the lead outright. Need to hold it for 11 laps in order to take a second career win. On to lap 18. Duck's the fastest lap there. Duck's on the podium right now. I said to you guys, keep an eye out. He could be a dark horse. He's proving just that right now. A slide there from the RB as I say that. James gets P6, 5.4 seconds to the gap. Pope keeping it in the points. Getting out in front of JB. So Pope on medium tyres too. Lucky Lambert's the fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 34.1. And James already challenging Imrie here. Around the outside, bit of a tap between the pair. Oh! Imrie slides. And James takes P5. And PJ will be hoping that someone gives James trouble because he could be potentially making moves like it's nothing. Back to the DRS zone. Landlord now in range, 7/10 the gap. Landlord closing. Will he go for enough to go into the last one and make a move? Yes, there he is. Lap 19. There goes James to the outside of Webbsy now. Fastest lap on the RB. He goes charging through, dancing against 4th place. Webbsy cracks there, standing still into turn 1. 2.5 seconds out of the gap. And the top 3 are all there together now. Behind the back here. Everyone else quite broke up at this point. The closest fight being sort of between Ethan and Lucky in terms of gap. These guys are all together now up front. This will be where we're really looking for the remainder of this Grand Prix to see just what is at stake. Near straight line a little bit close this time. Overtake him, deploy. Landlord looking for revenge. Remember, this is for the lead of the Drivers' Championship. Landlord look to the outside. As it stands, he will have that lead. Fighting PJ on the exit. Can he take the lead of the Chinese Grand Prix? Landlord from P11 on the grid up to P1. He leads now with 9 laps to go, but can PJ come back at him? Slow exit from the Williams. That wing damage might start rearing its head. Will Duck let James go? These two have worked so well together today so far. Over the first 20 laps of this Grand Prix. Landlord now leads. James charging on the outside of Duck there. Back into P3. As it stands right now, Landlord will shut their gap to the championship to 12 points. If James wins and Landlord comes second, that'll bring the gap to 6 in the favour of James. Practically bump drafting PJ there as they charge towards the third sector. But PJ will be looking to make a move on Lionel for the lead if he can. Could we see these guys go through wide again? Those medium tyres hitting their stride. Not the best of exits. PJ now working on closing on Lionel. Here goes James to the inside first though. PJ looking to the grass there. 3 wide for the lead, but James goes through. Contact between Lionel and PJ. And before James pulls away, these two have to establish things very quickly between them. Lionel back in second place. This is the race for the Drivers' Championship lead. PJ penalty there, and that could be a huge detriment to his podium chances. Lionel to the outside of James into turn 1. James low on ERS, as is Landlord. Pope passing Kopf P8. Back up front. Still, it's now James pulling away. Increasing his lead at the same rate with which he closed the lead down. Duck now fighting PJ. And what looked to be perhaps a dream, even a dream win for the pole sitter. Quickly turning into a 4th place finish as it stands. Websy not close to catch anyone right now in terms of penalties. James now almost out of DRS range. He is out of DRS range, but I think Landlord may just get it this time. See him moving over to break the toe there. He's going to maintain position. Landlord closing a little bit, but don't think it'll be enough to really have a good go. Pope now passing in. Those medium tyres not only working for James, working for Pope too. We'll see how high Pope can climb for the flag. He's got 7 laps to get himself up the order. No DRS for Landlord that time. Oh, no, there was DRS for Landlord that time. He was out of range on the timing. He has to muster up some serious speed here. Caught 3 seconds. James narrowly keeping himself out of DRS range. One second now the gap. It looks as though the race might be over. The cars behind. Short of James' mistake or a penalty. Yellow flag. That's Red J moving out of the way for the leaders. And I imagine that short of them catching Obsessed Gamer, that'll be the last one. That car we see in this race. Can Duck try and have 1-2 for RB? He's low on DRS, but so is Landlord. Landlord though has no rear wing to help him out this time. It looks as if the pack's trying to condense up a bit more. Che and Pope both on medium tyres. They could make this race a bit more interesting. Mercedes looking to put Pope in, gunning for a podium finish. Red J in the pits. Soft tyres going for Red J. Can he try and nab the fastest lap perhaps? Pope closing on Che once again. These two have been dueling throughout the race, mano a mano, but no one has had the edge just yet. Right now belongs to Che. James, 1.5 to good now, Valado made that 1.7. Duck still in 3rd. PJ still 4th. Websy though, still in 5th, but crucially, 4.5 seconds back, which means that PJ will still take 12 points for his efforts today. despite the penalty. Five laps to the end. Pope down the inside of Che here. You hear the tyre squidding on the exit. Pope jumps back in front. It's 2.3 seconds to Websy in front. He's all by himself now. Falling off that lead train. Oh, sorry, it wasn't. Falling off that lead train to the pit stops. And now in trouble. Perhaps at risk of falling foul of both Pope and Che, falling to as low as P7 in this race. Flying Duck just waiting for that chance to make a challenge on Lando. He's there in range DRS-wise. The battery he's doing quite good for. Both cars are doing quite good for the minute. Yellow flag behind them, and that is Cock goes slow. Recovers it, no issue. In P8 now. James's lead now stretching to almost 2 seconds. Track clouding over now. I should imagine a late fuel shower that way. The sun now gone in, the clouds darkening considerably for these final 4 laps. Cockman into the pit lane here. It looks like Cock will throw up the points with that. Unless he's also having fast as that, saying that from the points with that. James's lead now stagnating a little bit at 2 seconds. Duck 4 seconds back of Landau. Over the curb, but the slide there from the RB. PJ looks to try and take advantage if he can get close enough. Closing again. Will PJ go for it once more? Stay Maria's Duck closing on Landlord though. Won't go for a move, not do it just yet. Okay, he'll want to be in position about here to try and have second place. I'll be looking for their first 1-2 of the season. Shea 3 seconds time penalty. 3 laps to go in the race. James in control. Looking for a 3rd win in succession and the lead in the Drivers' Championship. Put back in the pack. Che on Black and Websy now. Pope's found a way around him. Pope looking for 10 more points to go to his name. That'll put him on 18 for the season. Enough for cracking the top 10 potentially, but with a few of those guys scoring points, could be a concern for Websy. Websy make up the top 10 with that 6th place. 8 points for Websy will put him on to 19. Which will be enough to upend Lucky Lambert's position. 2 laps to go now for James. Looking for that 3rd race victory of the season. He's coming to his own here on F124. F123, there was flash to this pace, but we never quite saw it over a race distance. Save for Zandvoort last season. But of course, he came dangerously close to victory before being beaten by Grumio in a train that looked quite similar to this. After a lot more chaos. Albon passing Imrie further back. Imrie down into the pit lane. Serving a penalty. All 10 seconds being served either way. And that may just cost him a bit there. Lap and a half left to go. James has dominated this race. RB has dominated this race. And they're looking at a double podium here. And I'll definitely help their push in the race for the Constructors' Championship. As of right now, Haas led by 10 points going in. With a full 40 points compared to the 18 for Haas, with just Lionel in the race for them. RB looking to lead in both championships. A team that, under the AlphaTauri name, typically found themselves near the bottom of the championship. The last time they brought home the title was Lionel's last crown back in season 12. And 5 races in, they look to be setting up a very strong title challenge of their own here. 1 more lap to go. Landlord still holding off Duck, who will be simply begging for some kind of mistake off the Haas to make a RB 1-2 to get the full 43 points for their efforts. Who has fastest lap in a minute? It belongs to James, so 26 points going James's way. The championship gap will extend from being 2 behind to being 6 in his favour. It looks as though these will be all contenders for the championship for the most part. Lionel and James, perhaps with Duck thrown in there to have to be a wild card for both of them. But as a collective, 5 rounds into the season, RB perhaps looking like the early season favourites. There are only 2 teams have won race this season so far, Haas and RB. But all of RB's wins have come courtesy of this man. Duck taking P2 off of Landlord. That 1-2 looks to be coming true. Off the last corner, here comes James towards the flag. Landlord trying to fight back, it won't be enough. RB 1-2, and James brings the flag for his 3rd win of the season. Duck comes home 2nd. Landlord narrowly in 3rd, again beat by an RB at the line. PJ will maintain 4th, Pope 5th, Che, Websy 6th, Chase 7th in the end after Chase penalty. Curtis looks to be bringing home 8th. And the 2 McLarens will be finishing the points off. Curtis over the line, P8, JB 9th, and Lucky Lambert in 10th, beating Ethan and Alvas the flag. Imrie in the end, unfortunate end to the day for him. Could he nab fastest lap? Trying to steal a point off of the cars in front of him. Trying to keep him away from a full point score. He won't do it. Imrie 3 seconds, caught 10 seconds. Well, those change for him in the line. Fantastic drives all around. I think particular credit has to be given to PJ. Of course, since the early corners this race, after just a few corners, he lost that end plate, didn't change it in the pits, and came through to finish the job. Assess race over the line. JB though, James is your winner. The dream, unfortunately for PJ, was lucky potential for a podium today. I think without that damage, he may have been with a good shout and a penalty. But if some maybes are very often in the sport, there's a lot to think about. But the only thoughts right now for RB are victory, the first 1-2 finish of this season, to my knowledge. If I look back on my notes here. Indeed it is. The first 1-2 for a team. Courtesy of Visa Cash App Racing Bulls. Hope you enjoyed that Grand Prix as much as I did. So you have it. The men in white, blue and red on top. And the man in black, white and red has to wait a little bit longer for his second win of the season as James takes 3 in a row. I'm sure we'll get to speak to him in a few minutes' time. As the celebrations begin. What a fantastic Grand Prix. With that in mind, then we'll open up post-race interviews for those who want to come along. But a fantastic race all around. And we've already got our race winner in here, James. Welcome, mate. Well, 3 wins in a row. Congratulations, buddy. I think
Thank you very much.
I think I have to say to you, I mean, you're a bit iffy on it last week, but I think you've got to agree with me that perhaps the title fight could be on the cards here, mate.
Yeah, I think I do agree with you now. Title fight is definitely on.
I mean, of course, today's been pace was solid throughout the entire Grand Prix. Of course, you and Duck go going back and forth quite a bit in that first stint. Was that the plan between you guys, or was there anyone behind that?
Well, yeah, once we saw in qualifying, we were basically evenly matched on pace. So I suggested that whoever's faster, okay, would move early in the massive straight, and then the other person would let them by. And it worked pretty well, because we maintained 1 and 2 for the majority of the first stint. So
it definitely worked out for you in the end with the 1-2, and of course the charge on the medium tyres was nothing short of remarkable. I mean, did you feel like you had the pace all the way to try and match the guys at the front towards the end?
Yeah, instantly as soon as I was on that medium tyre, I don't know who it was in front of me, but they were struggling a wee bit. I caught up to him instantly. So it was like instantly I thought I have the pace here to go all the way. Because before behind, I thought they might have been too far ahead for me to catch up, but turned out it worked out.
Worked out indeed, without doubt. So that win then moves you into the lead of the championship by 6 points to Landlord, and I imagine those guys will give you a bit more threat over the season. And it also moves RB to the top of the constructors as well. So congratulations on that, you and Duck. I imagine we're quite pleased with that.
Oh yeah, we were really pleased with that. You know what I mean? Maximum points basically out of this weekend.
Just about. I mean, Duck nabbed the place off Landlord with the hairpin on the last lap. Did you catch a bit of that looking behind you, or were you just focused on the finish?
Yeah, I was actually like looking at the timing screen constantly there to see if he got in front. I was so pleased when he did.
Very late change, but managed to work out. The last question. Miami next time out. Do you see yourself maintaining that lead, perhaps even extending it with a 4th win?
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully I do maintain that lead. Yeah.
It's been a while since we've seen one driver win 4 races in a row. That could be you next week. You never know.
And never know. Never know.
Oh, we'll keep an eye out for you. Congratulations on the win once again. Perhaps we'll see you back here next week.
Okay, thank you.
Next up for us, we have the pole sitter, PJ. Welcome into the commentary box. It's been a while since I had an interview from you, to be honest, mate. Nope, nothing. Yeah, I still go back and forth. We have our debutant, Obsessed Gamer. We have us in the commentary box as well. Obsessed, mate, welcome along to the stream. A bit quiet for your first race there. I mean, I assume you probably would have wanted a bit more from today, yeah.
I haven't really done a ton of races with a ton of other people. It's mostly being AI, you know. Just trying to learn how to race and everything. Figured out how to use overtake for the first time.
Okay.
Not not really upset with my performance. Would have liked a bit of a faster lap time, but yeah.
In terms of the disqualification, in qualifying, because from what I saw, you were by yourself on the circuit there. Was that a game glitch, do you reckon, or was that... Were you
No, so I was trying to chat with somebody. I thought that if I just pulled off to the side, you know, I'd be fine. Guess not. But yeah, no. Overall, not too upset.
Maybe it's just sort of lesson learned for next time, yeah?
Yep. Learned that in the pit you have to press the clutch in to go.
Oh yeah. Too fair, that took me a little while, to be honest with you. Is this your first foray into league racing then? Is this your first league? Oh,
Yep.
We're glad you've chosen us to be the first foray into it. I mean, I can give it a few races, and I'll say we could definitely have a place for you here.
Yep.
I mean, perhaps we'll see you around the next 4 races. You'll be here in Miami next week if there's a space.
Yeah, I think so.
But hopefully from there there'll be a few of our regulars back in, and we'll see from there what we can expect to see. But hopefully we'll see you really get into it in the next couple of weeks, and yeah, perhaps we'll see you back in a bit more often.
Yeah. Look forward to it.
Should be absolute blast for you. Well, I mean, thank you for coming along. I mean, we don't get a lot of the grid to come in and do interviews, so good on you for coming in and doing it first time out. But yeah, perhaps we'll see you back in here another day.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
We've got Pope in here as well. Pope, welcome in. Another solid point scoring finish for you, but perhaps a bit more. Perhaps you maybe want today, do you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, Cott locked up all his tyres on lap 4, and I couldn't really get out of the way. So
that
had
happened. Okay.
That's what happened, yeah. I didn't look back on the screen to see if he got it, but unfortunately didn't. So yeah, and then that kind of put me completely out of whack with the leaders in front. So the gap when James Pitt was 7 seconds after the medium stint, but at the end of the race it was 6.9. So I had pace number 1 and 2. If it wasn't for that incident, there could have even been a chance for a race win, but definitely a podium. I mean, I nearly got on the podium towards the end if there was a few more extra laps maybe, and if they wanted to battle a little bit more potentially, but it's just getting confidence again after the first few races.
I get you. I mean, we saw you fight Che for the majority of that race there on both the hards and the medium tyres. I mean, you guys were racing fantastically today despite being all by yourselves.
Yeah, no, it was good. I was trying to tell him, like, let's DRS each other, let's make sure we get back with the pack, but I think we were both quick in different areas of the track, and I don't think it really worked well to DRS each other, but yeah, I think the strategy played out well to kind of get the advantage on Che.
And of course, you guys were charging up to the pack again. Do you reckon if we give him about, say, like 5 more laps, do you reckon you may have been up there?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it was gaining on the podium, people on the podium, like a second, nearly 5 tenths of a second per lap, depending on what was happening. So, felt really good. But they were absolutely rapid, every single one of them, and it was a really good race today.
It was fantastic. I mean, we'll be able to speak to one of those drivers in the lead pack in a minute or so. But in terms of next week's race in Miami, then, because of course you guys still looking for your first win of the season between you and Imrie. Could this be the one, maybe?
No.
Oh.
No.
All right. Okay. Well, that was.
Not Miami. After that, I'm hitting a very nice purple patch of tracks, but Miami's gonna be hell.
I remember you said this video recently. It goes it's Imola, Monaco, Canada, Spain. Those are you're good for. So I'll be holding
my
you,
good 4, my best 4.
I'll be holding you to either at least 3 out of 4 podiums or 1 victory. Either or.
I can do that.
Okay, I'll ask you again in about a month or so. We'll see where we're looking. But yeah, more points on the board for you and Imrie today. So solid effort both of you. And yeah, I mean, and obviously you're welcome to stick around as we cap off the stream. But before we do that, we have got PJ in. PJ, you hear us, buddy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep, here we go this time. Well, that was solid race for your P4 in the end, but that pole position, that sort of came out of nowhere, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I have no idea where that came from. It just kind of happened. I don't know whether it was the setup or what, but it just came out of nowhere. I have no idea.
I mean, I'm sure you were more than happy to have it, but of course the start perhaps could have been a bit or a bit better. Of course, the collision with Websy. What's happened there? Did you see much of what happened?
Yeah, I think he just had like a half spin in front of me, and then it took some of my wing off, so I had wing damage for the entire race, which sucked. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but I don't know what happened to Websy, whether he just lost it or he was hit, but sucks for me, I guess. But oh well, I think if I didn't have wing damage, I probably could have fought a lot more for at least P2. James did great with the strategy, so there was no chance of getting P1. But no, it was fun. It just hampered me a lot, so.
Of course, credit to you for actually completing the entire race with the wing damage. Did you not think to change it, or were you worried about track condition at that point?
Yeah, I mean, on the mediums, I was keeping up well enough. I mean, it hampered me a bit, but I could stay kind of really close to the two in front. It was only when the tyres got really damaged and worn that it kind of really hurt me a lot. But I just didn't want to spend the time in the pit just getting rid of the damaged front wing. It was not worth it for me. I was waiting for a safety car that never came.
I think Imri was doing the same thing. I think he changed onto the softs later on, hoping for something later on, but wasn't to be in the end. But can we come to expect more performances like that from you across the season?
Probably not. No. I think I don't know what it is about China. I mean, there was a race a few seasons ago where I got like P2 quali. That was in the wet.
Season 14. Yeah, I remember that short's gone around my head many times across the race.
Yeah. No. I don't know. I think I was very lucky to get as fast as I was this race, but I don't think it will be a consistent thing. Maybe consistently like P5 downwards, but not up front.
Yeah, I'd say that's a consistent points is a solid effort regardless. But in terms of next week's race in Miami, do you reckon you'll score points there?
I hate Miami, so no.
Everyone hates Miami. I don't understand it. I mean, I'm not big on it, but I mean, like, it's not terrible, is it?
No, it's not awful. It's just I'm not very good at it, so I don't know what it is. Whether it's because it's new, whether it's because it's just a street track, but I just struggle really with the traction and spinning and that crap. So, sorry.
That's alright. Man, honestly, the majority of people I ask the question to, they more or less say the same thing. So I think we'll find out who's the least bad at it next week.
Yep.
Well, congratulations on the P4. Still a solid result regardless, and obviously the pole position as well. We'll have to keep an eye out for you across the Central Dark Horse for some more good finishes.
Yeah, just still on cloud 9 about the pole position. That's all that matters. So thanks, guys.
Much for it. No worries. You go and enjoy the rest of the evening with that, yeah?
Cheers, boss.
So that will more or less do it for us here in the commentary box. Pope, do you want to give us a word of the race?
Memes.
Memes. Do you want to explain why that is? Because of course the majority of people outside of Discord are watching right now. What did you do?
So after that first lap in Q3, I had no more tyres, and I was like, oh well, I ain't gonna improve because someone said it was raining. I thought it was raining, but apparently it didn't. And I just started making memes about PJ getting pole position, and I've just carried it on. So it's quite fun.
So the word is memes. You're telling me.
Yeah, and I think you should actually show us a couple before next week's race.
I mean, I don't know. I could do potentially. If we get.
I mean, in between qualifying sessions, great time to do it.
Maybe. Well, we'll have to keep an eye on that. So for those of you who are here now, when the stream becomes a video, make sure to go to the comment section, type in the word memes, and let us know what you think of Pope's memes.
Amazing.
Amazing indeed. So that'll do it for tonight. Next week's race will be at the Miami Grand Prix, the 22nd of July, here on the Zach RC channel. Same place, same time. Make sure to get subscribed if you haven't already. And until the next race, you guys, have an absolutely splendid day, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.